Alright, hi everybody. I just turned on the recording just in time for somebody on a motorcycle to drive by. Excellent. Welcome to Jess Plays Exile election. This is going to be the 5th election for Michimune, part 2, take 2, rather. I did the one the first, blah, 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 blah. I recorded one a while back, and for some reason, OBS has really been giving me a problem lately with, this kind of stuff. Now, I had to go back and play a ways to get back up to this pot, because after I'd recorded last time, I accidentally saved over the, most recent save slot that I had open, which I don't normally do. I try not to do that, but I did it in this particular case. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was, or not unfortunately, but I realized a couple of things about the game. So, there are 2 saves that you actually make. There's one, save that you make for a particular file on, like, a route that you're going down, and then there's, like, an overall, like, system save that gets updated, and that system save keeps track of what you've already done in all of the save files that you've got. So, for example, I have a save file that's, like, after I finish both, or after I've already finished the election for Michimune, but even though I went back to an earlier save before I did that, which was technically all the way back before Miori's election, it counted, as a matter of fact. So yeah, here I am. I'm recording this on Sunday after Thanksgiving of Thanksgiving weekend. I hope if you are American, you had a nice Thanksgiving. I know it's kind of there's a non-PC element to it because they feel like it's sort of like, not whitewashing, but sort of like, retroactively choosing to interpret events that were not quite as, in like a more naive kind of way. That's not exactly fair to Native Americans, but generally that's really not kind of what Thanksgiving means to me. It's more just getting together with family and, you know, being grateful for each other's company. I'm also pretty lucky that my extended family is really nice, so, you know, family reunions and things like that were always things I looked forward to, because a lot of the internal strife of my family came from the nuclear unit rather than the extended one. Alright, anyway, like I said, I hope you guys had a good holiday weekend if you are in America, or if you're in Japan, since we had Friday off. And yeah, let's get this started. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that there's no issues with recording this time. I made an extra save just in case. I gotta put Do Not Disturb on for a couple of my apps that I've got open for messengers, and then we'll get going. Alright, here we go. It certainly seems like I don't have a very long time to live. You guys and your fucking, like, obsessions with lifespans. There's really no way for you to be healed? Exactly. So, there's something I want to talk to you about, so that I'm not left with any regrets. I've always had feelings for you. Would you go out with me? Oh, I'm happy to hear that. But, you know, because of my parents' situation with their jobs, I've got to go overseas. So, I don't think we can go out. How do you feel about me exactly? I gotta go. I'll be in touch. I remember the first time I watched this, I was like, oh, I see where this is going. What's wrong? It looks like your eyes are all puffy.
博士、実は私、失恋してしまいましたの。
Professor, to be honest, I've just had a failure in love.
せめて彼が私のことをどう思っていたかは知りたかったですわ。
At the very least, I wanted to know what he felt for me.
そうでないと死ぬに死にきれませんわ。
Without knowing that, I won't be able to pass away in peace.
ならこの装置を作動させてみますか？
Oh, well, if that's the case, then why don't we turn on this device?
装置？
Device?
これは相手の口にした言葉が真実か嘘か分かるようになる装置です。
Last time I went on this big long thing about this before I even translated the line, so I'll translate it first for you. You see, this device is capable of telling you whether or not what someone is saying is a lie. And I remember being like, yeah, this would destroy Japan and most high context societies that rely on some form of artifice in order to proceed, which is all societies, really. I mean, like, Japanese people have this idea about American society or American culture that we're all just, like, super blunt with each other 24/7, which obviously is not the case. But, you know, lying, as it were, has a bad connotation, but not being entirely truthful is always has a role as a social lubricant, why don't we say?
つまり相手の真意がわかるのですね。
So in other words, I'd be able to know how the other person actually feels.
ただしこの世のすべての人がこの装置の電磁波に影響されてしまうんです。
Of course, please keep in mind that once this device is switched on, then the electromagnetic field is going to affect everyone on the planet.
すべての人が言葉の真偽がわかるようになってしまう。
So everybody in the world would be able to tell whether or not what someone was saying was true?
相手の嘘が分かるようになる社会になるということです。
Yeah, we'd build a society where you would know the instant the other person was telling you a lie. He's all like smiling about it, but it's like, no, that would suck. Like, everybody's Kaname 24/7. Okay, the theme. A world where you would know if a world where everyone would know if a lie was told. Recently, a new device has been developed using recent technology. It's able to release an electromagnetic field that stimulates an unknown part of the human brain. And if somebody knowingly were to tell a lie, then you would know instantly. You would somehow know instantly. Alright. Depending on the well-being of various countries of the world, you wouldn't be able to control the sphere of influence. And once you flip the device on, then its effect would be felt around the entire world. Do you agree or disagree? It may surprise you what side Kaname takes.
ここにあるのは相手の口にした言葉が真実か嘘かわかるようになる装置。
And here, we have a device that will let you know whether or not the things that the other person says to you are a lie or truth.
ただし、装置の電磁波によってこの世のすべての人がその能力を手に入れることになる。
However, once you release the electromagnetic pulse from this device, every person in the world gains that ability.
つまり、 嘘が分かってしまう世界になってしまう。
In other words, we would be living in a world where you would know instantly the second someone lied.
この少女は装置を作動させれば悔いなく死んでいくことができる。
If we are to turn on this device, then this girl would be able to die without regrets.
しかし世界を変えてしまう。
However, it would change the world forever.
さあ君たちは装置を作動させる？させない？
So, what are you guys all going to do? Will you turn on the device or not? Anyway, I was kidding earlier. It's actually pretty obvious what side Kaname's gonna take. It's not like he has a choice because the other person gets to choose their stance first, as to like level the playing field since Kaname gets to choose them as the opposing candidate, but like, even so.
俺は嘘がわかる社会っていいんじゃないかと思います。
I think that if we lived in a society where you knew if people were lying, that'd be great. Of course you would, you little naive baby.
嘘がわかれば自分の本気度も相手の本気度もわかるし。
Aww. If you know when someone's lying, then you'll be able to know... then everybody will know exactly how you feel, and you'll know how the other person feels as well.
争いを未然に防げたり、勘違いで失敗することもなくなるんじゃないかって。
Oh, baby, what world do you live in? You'd be able to stop fights before they started, and you'd be able to minimize the amount of damage that would occur from misunderstandings.
俺は嘘がわかる社会を否定します。
And unsurprisingly, I am against the society where you know when people are lying.
相手の嘘を暴くことで社会が良くなるとは思えません。
I don't think knowing when someone is lying to you is going to improve society.
むしろ社会は悪くなると考えます。
In fact, I think it would instead make society worse. Alright, so you might notice here that I get an option to skip this election. And I realized this when I went back and I had to go through Miori's thing again. And I replayed hers because I had to make sure, because the animations and stuff like that are the most intense, air quotes around that as much as you can, the most intense during the election segments, which is really what the issue is. Like, if there's a little bit of lag in the normal VN part, who cares? But the elections, I kind of need everything to sync up and to work well. So I did actually replay Miori's, just to make sure that it would record okay, and it did so far. So I think we're alright. But anyway, the thing about this is you can skip things that you can skip elections that you've already done. And that's what I meant when I said earlier about there's two save files, one for the actual, like, you know, file that you're in, and then one for the overall game and your system and what you've played in all of your save files. So you have this weird, like, oversoul save thing going on, because in this particular file that I'm playing now, it already knew that I had already chosen to go after Michimune, which is very interesting to me. So anyway, obviously we're not going to skip it because you guys haven't seen this yet, so sorry to hold you up with this, and we'll get going. I'm not going to be saying much this time. I had a lot of things to say when I was watching this the first time, so if I remember more or less what my reactions were, I'll try to, like, recreate them for you guys, just so you guys can see them. But, you know, I'm not going to be saying a whole lot because this is mostly going to be subbing. Yeah, and then I have a couple of things that I want to talk about at the end of the recording a little bit, but we'll get there when we get there. Alright, we're not skipping, let's go. Are we gonna save? I think so. I think I'll save over what I just played. Why not? That's expected. It's a little bit unexpected. That's a little bit unexpected. Okay. Not unexpected. That's unexpected. Okay, obvious. I guess I could see that. That's obvious. That's
ほぼ
interesting.
互角か。自白剤って言葉はあるけど、実際そんな薬はないもんね。
Looks like things are about even up. Well, I mean, I guess we could say that, you know, people don't want a taste of their own medicine, but I guess doesn't matter because there is no medicine.
フェアな世界を作ろうと思ったら、この技術は社会に必要なのかもしれないね。
If you want to make a fair and equal society, then you'll probably need something along these lines.
さて、それでは皆様、活発な議論をぜひお願いします。
Okay, everybody, why don't you go ahead and all give me a fantastic debate? Yes, you chose him.
Ah, はい。俺賛成派の代表なんで、ちょっと思ったことを言ってもいいですか？
もちろんです。どうぞ。
俺は絶対に賛成です。だって女の子がかわいそうですから。あと少ししか生きられない。それを勇気を振り絞って好きな相手に告白したんです。それだけ？少年の本心を聞けないまま死んでいくんですけど。こんな悲しいことなんてないですよね。
やけにこの女の子に対して同情的ですね。
そんなことはないです。客観的意見です。
客観的意見ですか？そうは思えませんでしたけど。
なんでですか？そういうことです。人の気持ちがかかってるんだから熱くもなりますよ。
確かに賛成派の言い分も十分わかります。思いを告げた余命わずかの少女の気持ち、これを尊重したいということですね。
その通りです。女の子の気持ちを考えるべきだと。
それなら返答をしなかった少年の気持ちも尊重すべきではないでしょうか。そうです。相手のためを思い真実を告げない人だってこの世にはいます。だからこそそういった人の優しさも尊重すべきだと思います。
優しさって言っても感じ方は人それぞれで、俺にはよくわかりません。この少年と少女の場合、その優しさが少女を悩ませてるんじゃ。だから真実をちゃんと知った方がいいですよ。
この少年と少女の場合はそうかもしれません。ですがこの装置の一番の問題はその影響力にあります。
No. Upstairs
社
neighbor's
会
getting.
に及ぼす影響を考えずして装置を作動させるべきだというのは 浅はかです。
この女の子みたいに相手の気持ちがわからなくて悩む人々を救うことができるんです。
ですね、シチュエーションが限定的すぎます。
でも事実じゃないですか。
これはあくまで一例ですからね。この装置を作動させることで社会がどうなるのか議論しようとしているんです。
なるほど。
それで賛成派の代表として社会がどうなるか考えを提示していただいても構いませんか。
そうですね。
どうぞ。
そうですよね。俺も同じように思います。
はいはいはい。じゃあ次のフェーズのテーマは社会における影響だね。
Okay, okay, okay. Alright then, the next phase, the theme will be, what will the effect on society be?
今回のテーマ、少女の心の救済についてみんなの投票をお願いします。
Alright, as for this particular phase's theme, about whether or not we'd be able to save the heart of this poor young girl, everybody cast your votes! Huh, looks like there hasn't been much of a change, huh? Well, I guess there are upsides and downsides.
君たちがどういう結論を出すのか僕は楽しみだよ。
I'm really looking forward to what kind of resolution you guys will reach.
さて、それでは続きをどうぞ。
Okay, let's keep going! I don't think you need to work that hard at it, honestly.
それで何でしたっけ？ああ、そうでしたね。
それで賛成派の代表さんはどう思うのですか？
ですね。まず嘘は悪いこと。これは問題ないですよね。装置を作動させれば悪いことができなくなるってことで、悪いことがこの世から一つなくなるってことになると思うんですけど。それはですね、つまりそりゃ人を騙すとか悪いことをするときとか、ということはこの世から悪事を排除できる、そういうことですよね。はい、幸福な世界の実現のためにも装置を作動させるべきです。
それは都合が良すぎる解釈じゃありませんか？
どういうことですか？
嘘がつけなくなることで詐欺ができなくなる。それはつまり相手を騙せなくなると言いたいわけですよ。
そうなりますよね。だって嘘がバレちゃうんですから。
ですが 嘘をつかなくても相手を騙すことが可能なはずです。簡単です。都合の悪い事実を隠せばいいんです。
それは。
その通りです。この詐術は通常のそれよりも立ちが悪い。装置を作動させれば嘘がなくなりますが、真実を隠した詐術が世に満ちるだけです。嘘が見破れるようになり、騙されなくなったと思い込む人々は多いでしょう。それでこのように真実を隠した詐術に騙される人は少なくないでしょうね。
確かにそうですね。
装置を作動させれば詐欺などの犯罪がなくなり、平和な社会を実現できると言いました。ですが、お話しした通り、そんな都合のいい結果にはならないと反対派は考えます。つまり詐術を見破ることが今の世の中よりさらに難しくなる。さらに常に相手への疑念が交錯する混沌とした世界になると予想します。
でも人の考えていることを知ることができるんすから、嫌な世の中にはならないんじゃ。
相手の考えを知ることができるという安心感から詐欺の連度が上がると話したはずです。装置は起動させるべきではない。理解していただけましたか？どうかしましたか？
そうです。現に偽札は装置が存在してない今でもあるわけですから。
なるほど。では詐欺の連度の上昇を招きかねないことに関してはどう考えますか？
Shorty's
それは
really chatty.
一理あるかもしれませんね。ですがまだそれだけで装置の作動が認められていいとは思いません。
犯罪抑止効果は確実にあるって認めたのに。どうかしました？
いや、何でもありません。議論を続けてください。
そっちが何か反対意見があるっぽいからこういう流れになったんじゃ。ああ、ただの苦し紛れってやつですか。犯罪抑止効果は確実にある。
目指すところは幸福な世界の実現ですよね。犯罪抑止効果は認めますが、より大きな問題もはらんでいます。日常生活でのコミュニケーションで冗談を含む嘘をつかないことは可能でしょうか？一切の嘘をつかないように気をつけ会話をする。このストレスは人と人とのコミュニケーションに悪影響をもたらすと思います。そして嘘がない会話に人は違和感を感じ、真実が隠されているのではないかと疑うようになる。
If you're wondering why I'm getting some of these wrong on purpose, it's because people ask to see the failure state.
Tagaini. そうですね。互いに理解し合える。最高ですよね。
互いに理解し合えることは最高ですか？
いいことですよね。
確かに事の真偽を包み隠さず互いに知れるというのはメリットはある。ですが相手の嘘を見破るため自分の嘘も伝わってしまうことになりますよ。
俺は平気です。
それじゃあ結構話したし、この辺で第2フェーズは終了。
Alright, well, it seems like we've talked about this quite a bit, so I think we should end the second phase right here.
知られることのデメリットか。いろいろな意味で楽しみだよ。
So people also knowing when you would be lying would be a demerit, huh? I'm looking forward to all the different ways you can interpret that.
それじゃあみんな投票をお願いします。
Alright, everybody, time for you to vote! These always seem... like, the phases always seem so short when I'm playing them, and then later when I'm doing the subs, it always seems like they're so long. But yeah, Shihori is really chatty in this particular election, which is kind of interesting.
反対派が優勢になったね。ここから討論はどう動くのかな。
Ooh, it looks like the against side has been racking up some influence over there. I'm interested to see what kind of discussion could try and move this.
さて、討論を開始してください。
Alright, everybody, get your debating pants on. Let's go!
Zibun no uso made shirarete shimau koto deshita yo ne.
そうです。まず装置を作動することによって嘘が相手に知られてしまうというのは見た。そうとは言い切れないんじゃないかと思います。例えばですが、たまたま殺人現場を目撃したとしましょう。そして犯人に殺人の瞬間を見たかと聞かれた。なんて答えますか？
そりゃ見てないって答える。
そうですね。嘘をつかなければ間違いなく自分が殺されてしまう。当然です。結果、嘘をついた目撃者は助かる可能性が高い。このように犯罪抑止効果も持つというわけです。それは先ほどの議論で十分承知しています。ですが詐術の一つがこの世から消えたところで犯罪及び犯罪者はなくなりはしない。ならば犯罪に対抗する手段は多ければ多いほどいい。その一つが嘘、真実を知られないことというわけです。
でもこの装置を作動させれば犯罪自体がなくなるかもしれない。
Precious summer child.
その根拠は？
だって装置を作動させたら人と人とが本心で話し合えるようになるんですから、人との信頼関係をより一層しっかり築けるようになるんじゃないですか。
人との信頼関係、とてもいい言葉です。そんな世界を望むあなたは人に隠しておきたいことが一切ない、極めて善良な人間なのでしょう。
それは
人には誰しも隠しておきたい真実の一つや二つあるはずです。そしてこの装置はその秘密を丸裸にしてしまう。現実問題、それを包み隠さずに知られることに対して耐えうる人間はどれほどいるでしょうか。誰だって秘密にしておきたいことは秘密にしておきたい。 その人にとっての事情やプライバシーがありますから。だがこの装置は下手なことを言うと、その秘密が暴かれてしまう。暴かれないよう慎重に会話をすることになる。ひいてはコミュニケーションが希薄になる。人との信頼関係はコミュニケーションの上に成り立つ。つまり信頼関係なんて築けるわけがないのです。
でもそれを乗り越えてこそ本来の信頼関係が築けるんじゃないんですか？お互いを認め合うことって一番大切なことじゃないですか。
まずはあなたが正直に話してみませんか？
何のことですか？
嘘がつけない世界を望むのなら、まずこの場で嘘をつかないと断言してください。
ああ。
では聞きます。あなたには他人に知られたくない過去はないんですか？あなたは今までに一度たりとも罪を犯したことがないんですか？
それは。
答えてもらえますか？
いや、ないとは言いませんけど。
では正直に話してもらえますよ。
でもそれは。
言うことができないんですか？人には社会には世界には真偽を包み隠さず語ることを望んでおいて。
待ってください。これには事情があるんです。
事情はあるでしょうね、誰にでも。ですがどんな事情があったとしても真実が分かれば人と人とが信頼を築けるんじゃないんですか？
俺はそう思って。
それが本心なら言えるはず。
でも
もう自分でも分かってるんじゃないか。真実を伝えれば拒絶されることが。
拒絶？
それでも君がこの装置を望むのは。
やめてくれ、もう。
Alright, so peeps want to see the failure state. So I'm gonna intentionally... I thought there were more spots for me to screw up in this, but I guess not. So I'm going to let the time run out on this.
いい加減にしてくれ。さっきから的外れなことばっかり言いやがって。いい加減にしてくれ。
Okay. So now you get to see the failure state, and then we'll go back and do the correct one.
先輩、あんただったのか。
Senpai, so it was you.
最初からうさんくさいと思ってたんだ。
I thought you smelled fishy from the very beginning.
みおりさんが外に出る方法を探したいって言ってた時、あんたは同じ気持ちだって答えたけど、あれも嘘だったんだろう。
So, back then, when Miyori-san said that she wanted to find a way out of here so that everybody could survive, and you said you felt the same way, was that a lie too?
さあ覚えてないな。
Who knows? I don't remember.
なんだ
Huh? What?
話の途中ごめんね。道宗くんの望む世界は嘘がバレる世界だったよね。
Hey, sorry to cut in, but, you, Michimune-kun, you wanted a world where you'd be able to find out when people lied to you, right?
というわけで、さっきからすべての嘘が見抜けるようになってます。
So, that means right now, you have now been granted the ability to see all of the lies you've been told up until now.
嘘が見抜ける。じゃあさっきのあいつの言葉は。
Huh? Wait, I'm able to tell when people were lying? So, then what that guy said earlier...
そういうこと。
Exactly.
やっぱりこれは必要だったんだ。
So I was right. You do need this.
あんたみたいな嘘つきは追放されるべきなんだ。
We should exile liars like you.
それじゃあ、かなめくんにはここで退場してもらおうか。バイバイ。
Okay. Well then, Kaname-kun, I guess it's time for you to take your leave. Bye-bye. Okay, so that's actually kind of interesting. Since I have a lull here, I'm going to comment on that. It's kind of interesting that, like, that's how... It seems like when you get a failure, and you're the one being exiled, your opponent seems to be a lot more, emotional. So, like, if you notice in the Miori one, when you fail, she's, like, sobbing, and she's like, oh my god, Kaname-san, how could you have done this to me? Whereas, like, in the end of it, when you actually, like defeat her, she's just kind of like, whatever, like, whatever, I'm worth nothing, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're way more resigned, you know, when you actually legitimately beat them, which I think is kind of interesting. And I think it is, a lot of people said that they wanted to see the failure states for this, so I guess I'll continue to show them. I've skipped a couple so far because I haven't really needed to hit them, but for the most part, like, I'm pretty bad at being able to read all of the stuff super quickly when I'm recording, to know how to react properly, so a lot of times I'll get them just naturally anyway. This one I kind of had to just force it, but, you know how it is. So yeah, that's, it's kind of interesting how that works. Like, that was a very short one, that one wasn't, it was very much, like, kind of in and out. But, you get to see a lot of interesting sides of characters that you don't normally get to see otherwise. Or maybe you do if you play the game in a different order, but who knows. So you basically have to go back and redo stage 3, unfortunately, since you guys wanted to see the game over. But it's fine. It's pretty easy to do that.
あんた、
そうまずそう例えばそしてそう
Oh man, I really hope that this recording
そ
doesn't
れは
mess
です
up.
がならば
でもこの装置は作動だって人と
そんな人にはそして現実誰だったか暴か人と
でもそれを乗り越えてこそ本来の人
There's actually a really interesting
嘘だではあなたは
point I want to make at the end of this that I hope I don't forget to talk about.
では言う人の事情どんなそれもうしんそれ
Alrighty. It's this one.
俺は自分を拒絶した人の本心をこの装置で知りたいんだ。
それが君の本心
俺は何を
ようやく 君という人間が理解できた気がする。君は自分の真実は知られたくないが、相手の真実はどうしても知りたいというただのエゴイストだ。
俺は
何か言い返したいことだ。
俺はそうかもしれない。どうしようもなく好きなんです。罪を共有しているから。この時俺が無力だったから。好きだけど障害があるのか、単純に嫌いなのか、あの人の気持ちを知りたい。だけど俺のそんな浅ましいところを見せたくない。
自分が言っていることが矛盾していると分かっているのか。
そんなの分かってる。めちゃくちゃで自分勝手なことくらい。でも俺はバカだから、この装置がなくっちゃ分からないわ。あの人の本心が。
20。
それでもあの人が大切で、せめて自分をどう思ってるか、これだけは知りたくて。
君の個人的な事情など知らないし、知りたくない。これじゃ議論にならないな。
そんなこと言われなくても分かってるんだ。
はいはいはい。結論は出たみたいだね。
Alright. Looks like we've reached a conclusion.
とりあえず皆さん、投票をお願いします。
Alright, for the time being, everybody cast your votes!
笑いたければ笑えばいい。でも俺は確かにバカで卑怯で臆病で自分勝手だけど、あの人への思いだけは真実だった。
くだらない。アリス、早く結果を発表しろ。
まったくせっかちだな。わかったってば。
Jeez, you're so impatient! Alright, I get it. I feel so bad. Because, like, Michimune is just not equipped for this kind of, like, intellectual combat. And it's so obvious. And so this whole thing is, like, such a fucking curb stomp that I feel so bad. The only one on your side is, like, Asha or Kasha, I forget which one. The one I was fighting against was you, senpai?
だったらなんだ?
And what if it were? No, it's nothing.
言いたいことがあるなら言ってみろ。これが最後の機会だからな。
Look, if you got something you want to say, go ahead and say it. This is your last chance, after all.
ないって言ってるだろ。あんたには理解できない。
I said I didn't have anything to say to you. It's not like you would understand.
おかしな話だな。話し合えば分かり合えるんじゃなかったのか。
Huh, what a weird thing for you to say. I thought if everybody discussed things with each other, then they would all come to understand each other, right?
じゃあ、俺が間違ってたっていうのか。
Oh, what, so you're saying I was wrong?
だから負けた。
And that's why you lost.
いや違う。俺は間違ってない。間違ってなかった。
No way. I'm not wrong. I wasn't wrong.
そういう流れだっけ?
Hey, so it's about that time, yeah?
最後まで知られずに済んだから、俺の記憶と一緒にあの事実も消える。
And in the end, everything ends without me getting to know anything. And then, along with all of my memories and everything that happened, it all just gets erased.
あの事実?
Everything that happened.
自分か相手か、どっちが大切か考えてみれば簡単だった。
Yourself or the other person? Which one is more important? If you think about it, it's easy.
誰だって自分が一番大事なんだ。
I mean, Anybody would put themselves first, right?
そうだ。だから、俺は間違ってなかった。
That's right. And that's why I wasn't wrong. Well, I mean, if he's satisfied himself, then I guess it's fine for him to go ahead and give up on his own, huh? Well, I mean, I'm certainly okay with letting things end this way. It's pretty convenient for me.
姫の身寄りはそうは思わないだろうな。
I don't think that Himeno Miyori would agree.
あんたがあの人何を分かってるって言うんだ。
You! Somebody like you, how would you know anything about her?
君ほどは知らないだろうな。だからそれが本当に正しいかどうか。
Well, I don't know her as well as you. And that's precisely because I don't know whether you were truly right or not.
もう一度考えてみろ。
You should think it over again.
いや、俺はだってそれでも
No, cause no matter what,
自分を否定して愛する人まで否定してそれで満足か。
so you reject yourself, you reject the person that you love, and you're satisfied with that?
黙れよ。
Shut up! Shut up!
白熱してるとこ悪いけど、もう時間なんだよね。
Hey, sorry to cut this off when it's getting really, like, exciting and heated, but, it's about time.
俺は
Bye!
それじゃ、バイバイ。さようなら。
Alright, well, with that, see you later. Goodbye! On that day, Michimune-kun was helping out Miyori-chan and Yuri-kun. He was helping them with getting rid of trash. As he pushed the cart, he headed deep into the secret forest in order to bury the garbage. It sure was heavy garbage. Well, with that, he dug a hole and threw the garbage in. He began to cover the garbage with dirt until it could not be seen anymore. You could probably glean where this is going, but somewhere somebody was singing, but Michimune-kun pretended as though he couldn't hear it. He couldn't stop filling in the dirt. In truth, Michimune-kun wanted Miyori-chan or Yuri-kun to hear it as well. However, that song, it was so scary and sad. Since if they heard it, they would probably become very sad and begin to cry. Michimune-kun would only let the black lilies. I can't half translate stuff. Would only let the black lilies hear that song. The black lilies were flowers that Michimune-kun was raising on his own. He kept it a secret from the other two. From the lilies, which were dyed black, drops of liquid dripped down. After several more days, the three of them woke up and found that the world that they had been living in had ended, and instead, the time of the elections had begun.
楽しい楽しい選挙の時間だよ
Yeah, Al says this every time in this portion, and it's kind of funny because it like reminds me of the Yami Shibai opening, where it's like, Yami Shibai no jikan da yo. Okay. At one of the elections, Michimune-kun shared his hope for the world. If it was a really good hope that would make everyone happy, then Alice-chan would make it come true. Of course, if everyone didn't go along with what he wanted, then he would be exiled into the forest of the monsters. What Michimune-kun wanted was a world where lies could be immediately discovered.
俺は嘘がわかる社会っていいんじゃないかと思います。
I think that a society where you know when people are lying is a good one. No one would be hiding anything anymore, and there would be no reason to tell lies. It would be a wonderful world, full of only good people. However, Michimune-kun really just wanted to know one thing. What that person thought about him. And the one who was telling a lie was Michimune-kun himself. He looks so like young in that sprite, cause like he's literally like a Chugakse, like he's like 14, and 14 or 13. No, he's got to be like 13, I think, cause I think Miori was 14. You know, and he doesn't really look all that young. He looks the same as like the high school aged characters until like you get to like sprites like this. So this is actually kind of interesting because it makes him look his age. Michimune-kun the liar was then exiled. While walking through the forest, he realized that he once again had come across the black lilies.
誰も聞いてないよな。
Nobody was listening, huh? When Michimune-kun allowed the lilies to hear the song, from their petals, the black nectar flowed, looking like blood. He heard the sound of flapping behind him. There was a huge, terrifying, feathered beast. And it was growing closer to Michimune-kun. Perhaps it was drawn by the seemingly delicious nectar, or perhaps because of the beautiful singing voice.
来るな、あっち行け。
Don't come near me! Get out of here! Michimune-kun ran away. However, no matter how far or how long he ran, the beast was always behind him. As Michimune-kun ran, the nectar from the black lilies dripped in a path behind him. おしまい。
君が引っ張り出した道宗くんの本心にはちょっとびっくりだよね。
Wow, I gotta say, it was a little bit surprising seeing the true feelings you pulled out of Michimune-kun there. I mean, not really, but...
そんなものに興味はない。
I don't really care about that.
でもあれがなかったら君の勝ちも危なかったんじゃない？嘘が見える要くんにすごく有利な議題だったのに。
Yeah, but if that hadn't happened, then your win could have been in jeopardy, wouldn't it? I mean, after all, for somebody who can see lies like you, that would be... It's an incredibly important skill to keep under wraps, huh?
それでも勝ったのは俺だ。
And despite that, I'm the one who still won.
まあそうなんだけどさ。
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's true.
何か問題でもあるのか。
Huh, and what is it? You have some sort of problem with that?
いや全然。むしろお礼を言いたいくらいだよ。いいものが見れてさ。
Nah, not at all, not at all. Instead, I actually wanted to say thanks for showing me something so fantastic.
こういうのもたまにはいいよね。毎回だと。
I mean, it's kind of nice to have things go this way every so often. I mean, if you did it every time...
あ、毎回でもいいか。それが人の本質っていうやつかもしれないしね。
Nah, I actually don't care. You can do it every time if you want. Well, I mean, that's exactly... Maybe that's just the nature of it when you're trying to figure out people's true value.
あれが本質。
Oh, and that's their true value?
極限状態ってやつじゃないと出てこないものってあるでしょ？
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell what their mettle is if you don't put them in a situation where their back's to the wall, right?
お前がそれを作り出してるっていうわけか。
And is there some reason that you were trying to engineer these situations?
こんなことになったのは僕に原因があるわけじゃないよ。僕はこんな状況でも最善だと思う方法を考えているんだからね。
Hey, come on now. I'm not the one who's making everything... I'm not the one who's behind everything being like this. Listen, I'm just the one that, even despite the circumstances, is trying to come up with the best way to move forward. That's all. Even though this isn't a lie, it might be a problem.
あんなに正義感にあふれた男の子の内側に秘めた思い。次も期待してるよ、要くん。
Imagine that. A boy like this with such a strong sense of justice, having a secret thought pattern hidden deep within him. Wow, I'm sure counting on you for next time, Kaname-kun.
それじゃ、外に出ようか。
Alrighty then, why don't we head out? So, I get the feeling that, like, this particular election is designed to be done first. And the reason I think that, I didn't want to say this earlier because I didn't want to influence the way that people were reading things as they go along. But yeah, I get the sense that this was intended to go first. And it's just because, like, the way that things are phrased and the way that things play out, and, like, especially what Alice says at the end there, where she's like, oh man, who knew that, like, this justice boy like this had this secret thing inside him, counting on you to do this from now on, Kaname. It just seems like a very, like, this is the first one that you would do. And it's kind of interesting because the very first election that I did for, what's his face? Hakushu. That topic was also really blatantly in your face, like, relevant to Kaname, as was this one, where it's like, you know, hey, what would society be like if everybody could see lies and not just this one person? So, you know, it wouldn't become an advantage anymore, it would just, like, change the way that everybody interacts. And then the one with Hakushu is like, you know, what would it be like if you, were, like, you know, are you justified in, trying to seek, like, revenge killing against someone else kind of thing. Whereas, I wonder if in Group C there's going to be somebody in there where they're going to assume that you're going to try and go for that person first. And I'm trying to decide who it would be. I don't think it would be Shihori, but I do think it might be Izuki, or it might be Issei. You know, could be one or the other of those two guys, where it's like you get another thing where it's like ridiculously in your face, like here's the topic, it's specifically to aggravate Kaname. So I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll go a little bit further now and get to at least the next morning, I suppose. And then I'll wrap this up, so, okay. And with that, the 5th election was over. When I looked around the room, I saw that the one boy, the only one left over, was standing next to his bed.
ねえ、これって
Hey, so this... He looked over his shoulder, as if to speak into the empty air behind him.
あれ
Huh? Upon realizing nobody was there, his brow furrowed. Perhaps partially in embarrassment and partially because he couldn't understand what was going on, he cast his eyes downward and bit his lip. When he lifted up his head, looking for encouragement and some sort of salvation, our eyes met. His eyes sparkled, as if he were a stray puppy who had just been found.
一条さん
Ichijo-san!
ユーリ君
Yuri-kun? Even though his face brightened up for a moment, he almost instantly returned to a heavy expression, showing that he had many things on his mind.
僕よくわからないんですけどすごく変な気分で
I don't really understand why, but I feel really weird.
これってやっぱりそういうことなんですよね
This is, after all, that thing that we talked about, right?
そういうことって
The thing we talked about.
話したじゃないですか大切な人の記憶がなくなった時絶対にわかるって
We talked about it, didn't we? About if you lose someone close to you, then you'll definitely know. Ah, that's right. When we had talked about that, it was just the two of us. And if it was a memory between just the two of us, it wouldn't have been erased.
わかるんです僕だってないんですさっきまでのことも朝とかご飯を食べたことも
I know. I mean, there's nothing. Even up till now. I don't remember breakfast. I don't remember lunch.
何か足りない気がしていや誰か一条さん僕はどうして
There's something missing. I get that feeling. Or no, someone missing? Ichizo-san, why? Without stopping, he continued to babble on. He was certainly communicating how upset he was. Upset and confused he was. And, on top of that, Ichijo-san versus Kaname-san. The first time that he had called me Kaname-san, he had been standing right beside his sister, his older sister, and his best friend. And right now, he no longer retained that memory.
誰なんですかいなくなったのは僕の知ってる人ねえ要さん
Who was it? The person who's not here anymore? Was it somebody I knew? Hey, Kaname-san! The one who's no longer here anymore is your own best friend, who you can't remember. though I probably could go ahead and just say it to him very nicely and create a really and be extremely cruel in the way I would make him feel, I had to pretend like I didn't know anything.
ごめん。俺にもわからないんだ。
Sorry, I don't have any idea.
一条さんなら誰がいなくなったか知ってますよね。
But Ichijo-san, if it's you, you should know if somebody's gone, right? For a moment, I thought I had been found out.
違う。知ってるわけない。だって僕たちは全員記憶を消されているから。
No. There's no way you would know. There's no reason for you to know. And that's why all of us, we've all had our memories tampered with. And then I realized that I wasn't found out. It was just that he was searching for someone, anyone to rely on in this kind of situation. Ichika had said herself, even if the memories were gone, the feelings remained. And I suddenly remembered those words.
僕たちこれからどうなるんでしょうか。
What's gonna happen to us? Us, Yuri had said. Up until now, us had always included Miori and Michimune.
要さん？
Kaname-san? Well, in the absence, it seemed as though I was the only thing left in the space where his memories and his, I almost said posse, or his memory and the people close to him left. Now that he had lost a feeling of purpose and a sense of where he was going, he had no idea where he wanted to go. I felt as though he was getting closer to the answer.
ごめん。どうしたらいいかなんて俺にもわからないよ。
I'm sorry. I don't know what we should do. I answered as if I had about as much knowledge about the situation as he did.
そうですか。
Oh, is that so? I should probably continue speaking nicely to this boy since he was so depressed.
でも俺にできることなら何でもするから。
But if there's something I can do, then I'll do it. It really wasn't for his sake, but more so that the people around us could see me being nice to him. Once I got rid of Himeno Miori, then these memories would be gone too. But even so, at the very least, there wasn't any... It wouldn't hurt for me to be nice to him over the next 3 days.
姫野さん、疲れたでしょ？もう部屋に戻った方がいいかもしれませんね。
Himeno-san, you gotta be tired, right? I mean... Hey, why don't you go ahead and head back? It's probably best for you to head back and rest in your room, huh? I had felt Ichika's presence standing behind me this entire time. Ichika jumped in as well, in order to supplement the words that I was already saying.
私のことも頼りにしていいから、何かあったら会いに来て。ノーリちゃんと一緒にいたいから、あまり外には出られないけど。
Hey, come on, you can count on me too. If anything happens, then feel free to come see me. I mean, I want to stay with Nori-chan, so I can't really go out much, but... Ichika was pretty quick on the uptake to figure out that I must have some reason for trying to say nice things to Yuri. She came over and began to speak to him as if she were his own older sister, using phrases that would make it sound, using phrases that made her sound inviting and friendly.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. And having calmed down, a small smile crossed Yudi's face.
じゃあ僕は先に戻りますね。
Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and head back to my room now, okay?
これから何があるかわからないけど、今はちゃんと休んで。
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen coming up, so make sure you rest, okay?
はい。
Got it.
私たちは先に戻ってる？
So, should we head back soon, too?
ありがとう。
Yeah, thanks. Ichika and Nori were the same.
ノリちゃん、ほら、もう行くよ。
Alright, Nori-chan, let's go.
俺もすぐに行くよ。
I'll be right behind you. I was probably the only one who had a profound effect. The only one who had a profound effect. Bleh. How do I want to phrase this? I was probably the only one who realized what an effect this had had on everyone. After I saw the two of them off, I stayed back and called Alice as usual in order to finish off our usual ritual.
アリス、
Alice.
はーい、次はもう決まったかな？
Okay, have you already decided who the next person's gonna be? I mean, there's only one left, so.
ああ、
Yep. Is it gonna be Himi no Yuri or Himi no Yuri? So see how it's kind of like grayed out on this? You can't really tell too much because like it doesn't have anything compared to it. It's because the system already knows that I've already made this choice for Yuri. Because my other save is like right after this point. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how this game works, actually.
次に殺すのは姫の有利だ。
The next one I will kill will be Himi no Yuri.
それじゃもう行く。
Alright, I'm out of here.
はいはい、もう諦めたよ。要くんのそっけなさにはさ。
Yep. I've already given up on you and trying to make you be less cold.
ならいちいち口に出すな。
Well, if that's the case, then I guess you don't have any reason to come chat with me, do you?
それはできないね。僕が諦めるまでは何度だって話しかけるよ。
Hey, come on, I can't do that. Listen, I gotta talk to you way more times before I give up.
いつか諦めるのか。
Oh, so you are gonna give up at some point?
それはないね。
Yeah, probably not.
ま、その前に飽きる方が早そうだけど。
Well, before then, I might actually lose interest, but hey,
そう願いたいな。
one can only hope.
でもこう見えて僕って結構我慢強いから、要くんも心しておいてね。
But I'm way tougher than I look, and I'm pretty good at being able to take the punches, so prepare yourself, Kaname-kun. Alright, there was no point in continuing the conversation with Alice past this point. Without even answering her, I headed back to my room. I ate dinner, went back to the room. Even though I ate dinner and went back to the room, there was nothing for me to do. Okay. This had almost become like a habit.
さて、
Alright. Well then. Okay. So, this is where I got up to in my last bit. So, alright. I'm gonna go ahead and, end the episode here. This has been a nice, long, meaty episode, so I hope you enjoy it. I'll try and hurry up as quick as I can with the subs. As you guys know, I really freaking hate doing them because they're such a pain and they're so time-consuming, but I will try to get them done ASAP. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying, and I'll talk to you guys next week. I don't know when that's going to be, but I guess next week from whenever this goes live, I guess. Anyway, I want to say thanks for sticking with me for all this time. I have read a bunch of your comments and stuff, and obviously asks if you've sent them to me on my blog and whatnot. To answer some of your questions, some of you guys were interested in other games that you guys would like to see me play. Unfortunately, I'm having issues with getting Deltarune to actually record. I had an idea to do a kind of series of where I talked about I was gonna try and do like the series bit where I was gonna oh my god where my girlfriend was gonna come in and we were gonna do a little bit of it together, and I'd have her on as a guest star. But OBS has been such a pain lately, and I can't get it to find the source for Deltarune anymore. Like, I just did it as a regular window capture before, and now it's refusing to find the source, so I don't really know kind of why that's happening. And I've tried all kinds of stuff. Like, I run OBS as administrator, and I've tweaked a bunch of the settings, and I've uninstalled and reinstalled OBS. I've reset the computer. I've uninstalled and reinstalled a bunch of drivers. I've uninstalled and reinstalled Deltarune itself. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I tried with this, and for some reason it's just really being a pain in the butt. So that's kind of on hold for the time being. Some of you guys said you were interested in Crystar, which is actually one that Nate and I are doing together. We haven't done it for the past month or so, because just other stuff has been going on. Like last week from when I'm recording this, Nate had to, or didn't have to, but Nate did the Pokemon Let's Go day one marathon stream, and he was streaming for a good 38 hours or something like that, so he couldn't muster up another 5 the following day after he finished. This particular week, he's got some health stuff that's going on. A couple of weeks ago I was really sick, so it's just things have been conspiring to make it really tough, and it's a tough time of year, guys. It's friggin' end of the year. Work for me is getting really super stressful because we have a bunch of stuff we have to get done for work because we're going into the sales busy season kind of thing. I've got other stuff coming up where it's I'm gonna take the JLPT EQ this next Sunday, and it's probably not gonna go super well since I haven't had time to study. I always almost pass. I always fail the EQ with by 5 to 7 points. It's always really giri, so, or korojite, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. Crystar is gonna be a thing. It is actually happening, so if you're interested in Crystar, that's happening. Some of the other things that people had suggested, I'll have to look into them. I have Caligula, I just haven't played it yet because I don't have a lot of free time. I would like to play, I also have, Blind Prince and Liar Princess, which I've only played about an hour of so far, and I like it a lot so far. It's a puzzle game, and I like that a lot. It would probably require a lot more editing because, the minute that you start recording, and I know that somebody's going to be watching what I'm doing, I get really, it's, very much performance anxiety, and therefore it makes it really hard, which is why sometimes, when I'm doing this kind of stuff and I'm, translating as I go and I'm reading, I'm I can't, my brain can't process this sentence for some reason, or I can't process how I want to say it in English, and then, later, if I'm, playing it on my own or whatever, I'm just oh, there's no problem with this, duh, I know what this means. So, it really is a thing. But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff I want to try and do too. I'm gonna have to see how I can manage my time, because I would love to get more stuff out. It's just difficult for me to find time and energy to actually record things. And lately, with OBS being a pain and my computer being a pain, and it's looking now like I'm not going to be able to build my new desktop until probably closer to my birthday in the spring. It's just, it's a tough situation, So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to try and see if I can get a little bit more of stuff out. EE will continue as it is, But what I might do is I might try and get a couple of things where it's like I do shorter stuff, because I've noticed a lot of people that I tend to watch, when I watch their YouTube stuff, they do very short things. They do things for maybe like 20 minutes at a time, or a half an hour, or maybe 45 at the most, or something like that. And that seems to be a lot easier for them to get out, because like you can just record a whole bunch on a particular time, and then you just you just edit the pieces of it so that you can upload it over the course of several days. And yeah, basically the thing is, like, I know for a fact that part of the reason that we don't get a whole lot of traffic on our YouTube channel is because we don't release stuff. We used to be pretty good about being consistent, but not so much as of late, because things have been rough. But it's just part of the reason is because we don't have the time to release stuff every day. You know what I mean? Or every other day or whatever. So I can try and work on that a little bit. I had some suggestions also from a couple people on my blog about doing just like short little videos about doing stuff in Japan, which I'd have to look into getting a better camera and stuff for, like a video camera, like GoPro kind of deal, but just like, going to go shop at like Costco, or going to like the cafes and shit that we go to a lot of the time. Like we went to the Princess Cafe this past weekend, and that was pretty good actually. And it was really funny because it's like all girls, and then Nate and Viren are with me in my party. So yeah. But it was a good time. So yeah, we do a lot of cool shit. We could probably make some short videos on that and whatever, but we'll see. Sorry to drag this out so long after, but I guess I will wrap it up for now. So if you made it all the way to the end of this, then thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys a week after I've posted this particular video. Alright, everybody, bye!